Hello, welcome to this video. This is going to be about making your own assets for the asset store for Unity. Now, if you're new to the asset store, you'll be a little bit daunted by the amount of things that you have to do, and it's the same for any marketplace. You'll have to make a lot of little icons and screenshots and descriptors and make sure everything's organized and check all the the details that you need in order to get things released quickly. Some marketplaces are immediate and they wait for things to get flagged if there's anything wrong, and marketplaces like Unity, they'll have a little kind of process where they'll look at your assets, make sure everything's organized and your screenshots are all good. Okay, so let's get started. Now, if you've got your own asset store page like mine, it's quite easy to get a store set up. You go to the asset store, page, so let's go here, and there should be something that says become a publisher. So you get publisher login for one, asset store tools, so for selling assets. So you want to check these out, and if you go on to the asset store inside here, and scroll down to maybe the old store. There's a little thing that should say become a publisher. There we go, publish your stuff. Now it's so like obscure where it is, but clicking this will get you started. And you set up your page and your profile and your icons and things. Okay, so that's how to set up a store one way. There's probably more than one way. Like you could probably go to that link I've shown you. There's also this, how to submit content to the Uni Asset Store, and it gives you some of these key images that you can download. So check that out. There's PNGs of these templates, and they'll give you like the icon size and this kind of safe area, so you put your image there and just make this white. You can have a little kind of blend there if you want as well, and that kind of thing. You also get PSD files, which are better because they're all set up for you. I think I've set up my own. After a while I've realised that there's a better way of kind of making these. So quite easy to make icons and things from either some nice screenshots that you can polish up in Photoshop or what have you. So this is my store. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I've accumulated over time. So I've got 3 pages, almost 3 pages worth of content. I've built up just little things. It's a little bit mixed now because my style and interests keep changing. Like I've got into shaders lately and low poly stuff, and yeah, just a whole mixed bag. I'm a bit of a generalist at everything, specialist in some, so I tend to be good at 3D modeling and textures and stuff, but 2D I'm not too bad. Right, so enough about me, back to this. So you want to create a new package if you're making something, and in Unity you'll have a kind of management project. So my asset pack management, you're going to have your main folder is going to be your name that you go by on the store. That means that when someone downloads your pack, it's always going to end up in this folder. And then you're going to have your categories. So here I've made a couple of categories: sci-fi environment, sci-fi weapons. I can go ahead and add another one, horror dungeon. Right. Let's do another one. Which call it mental facility. Let's do you call them, military weapons. Okay, and what else can we have? Steampunk weapons. Steampunk weapons. Oh, spelled weapons. Let's do fantasy characters. Right, so whatever you do, you're going to have these categories, and then you're going to export these subpacks. So sci-fi weapons might have another subpack, like ray guns, right? Blasters. Another one could be laser cutters. Just making up names now. Plasma, I guess. Plasma rifles. Hand pistols. Right. So if I was to go into hand pistols, I'm going to have another folder called basic pistol, right? So it's going to be RR freelances, sci-fi weapon, hand pistol, basic pistol, and then in here I'll have my mesh, which is what the OBJ or FBX that I import. More likely an FBX because OBJ loses information. FBX is your way to go. Mesh, textures, mesh, textures. What else you're gonna have? You're gonna have your prefabs, in case there's more than one. Usually more than that. Mesh, textures. Let's see. You're gonna import your mesh materials. So your mesh would go in here. Usually when you import your mesh, you're going to have materials appear from it because your model will have import materials checked. Now what I do is I tend to uncheck it and apply, and then get rid of the materials because it will bring in a material mesh alongside it in the same folder. So I usually get rid of it and just make up a brand new material and get everything the way I want it. So I might also have another folder called shaders, because I like to make customized shaders for a lot of things, and I use Amplify shader for that. Amplify shader editor, this one, it's awesome. Totally recommend it. It's money well spent as far as I'm concerned. I've used it for many things and it's made its money back. So if you see in my store, I've got like that's shader based. That's got shader stuff in it. There's shader stuff in here. Shader stuff in here for sure. Some in here. Definitely some there. Definitely some there. That's got some in it. This definitely. So I've used Amplify shader a hell of a lot, so it's contributed to a lot of my assets looking good. This has got I think this has actually got the other one, Shader Forge. This is a bit of Shader Forge and Amplify shader together, just for new shaders that I've created. This has got Amplify shader in it. This has got some, and this has got some as well. So I've used it a lot. And oh, another cool thing you can do now that I see I've got a little notification is you can link your store details. If you go to info, I'm not going to go there because there's some information that's private, but you can link your RSS feed to this thing, and what you get is you get a little notification when something's changed. There's, I've had someone say something a minute ago, so if you want to check that out, just jump on my store. I'm not going to show you the details here because that's kind of private as well, but anyway, jumping back because I jump around a lot. Pardon me. when you export, so let's actually make up a dummy asset pack. There's no harm in it. I'll just keep it as draft until I actually do it. So sci-fi weapon, hand pistol, hand pistols. So let's say I sell hand pistols as a pack, right? I can sell basic pistol as a single asset if I want for like $5, right? If it was really, really good and it's fancy shaders and loads of options. But let's just say I want 5 hand pistols, all in a hand pistol sci-fi weapons pack. If I was to export anything in here, like export package, you can see it's got this chain where it goes right back up to this root. Now that's the way it's going to be when someone downloads it as well. So that's great, because if they later buy sci-fi environment, it's going to slot perfectly into this or our freelance folder. And that's the way you want to structure stuff. And I've realized that only over time. Unity seemed to let us away with it for some reason. But I think it's good practice to be more professional from the start. I think I've got away with it only just. Sometimes they get nitpicky, like have your materials in your materials folder and all these things. They like this structure for sure. This whole nested structure they're not too fussed about, I guess. Like you could get away with sci-fi weapons, hand pistols. You might even get away with hand pistols as your root, you know, if that was kind of up there. But anyway, let's create a new pack. So we go to, alright, create new package. Package detail, I'm going to call this like hand pistols, right? So first release, version changes, first release. So I'll just do version 1.0. Initial release containing 5 sci-fi weapons with custom shader to drive texture alterations, right? But in saying that, I don't actually have to do a version change. So this here, with all my spelling mistakes, containing, let's get rid of that hyphen now. Still the same. So because it's not a version change, I don't have to do this. This will be in the actual detail. So initial release is perfectly fine there, right? Then set your price. So pack of 5 weapons, I might say like $10, right? That's a good starting point. Can also check free if I want. So now I'm just going to click save. Oh, I need to do a category. So it's going to be 3D models, weapons, props, weapons, guns, right? Save that. Okay. Now it's a long-winded process, so bear with me. You're not going to get this in 5 minutes. Be patient. So I'm going to edit the metadata now, and this is going to be the name of it. So I'm going to do sci-fi handguns pack, right? Initial release containing 5 sci-fi weapons with a custom shader to drive texture or alterations. That's fine, right, as a description. In this pack, you will get, okay, and now I've realized other things you can do here is like you can do strong, /strong, and that top header is going to end up bold. It's going to be bold, so going to change this to a pack containing of, let's see, a pack of 5 sci-fi weapons with a custom shader to drive to give great texture variety to each weapon. Okay, I can also use P for paragraph. /P, or if I want to sort of break a line, I have to do like BR. In this pack you'll get, I can do BR. Now that only takes it to this line, it's not going to skip a line. If I want to skip a line, I'll do 2 BRs, so the break lines. In this pack you'll get, and you could do like a little strong again, so make one strong, and then like a dash, and then /strong. You get so 5 unique weapon designs, and then BR. Right, so I'm just going to copy that. Let's say 2048 by 2048 texture sets. PBR support. I'm going to do something like metal gloss. Custom shader and animated meshes, animated parts and effects. Okay, and then keywords is going to be gun. You don't need spaces, you don't need commas for this, you just do spaces. Sci-fi, do sci-fi separate things, sci-fi hyphenated just for the variations. Hand held weapon, handgun is one word. Shooter, blaster, plasma. Okay, that's probably enough. Pistol, maybe pistol. So you save that. Make sure you save, because if you go back without saving, see, you have to wait in this window. Okay, now I can go back, and now I can preview it. There we go. I've got these little hyphens in bold, so they show up a little bit better. A pack of sci-fi weapons with a custom shader to give great texture variety to each weapon. In this pack you'll get blah blah blah. Keeps it simple, right? Keeps it real simple, and with the image there when it's done, that'll be good. Now it's saved it in draft, so I can always go to like my packages, I can check out draft, and I can see sci-fi handguns pack. Okay, and I just click on it, I can go back in there and edit my metadata and so on. Now with key images, like I said before, you'll have to download the key images, how to submit content, and you get this little zip folder, and then let's see, I'll just upload some ones I've done before. So I can select, let's see where it takes me. We'll go large image template. Okay, open file location. Yeah, so you can load these like icons in. There's the icon, small, and it crops it. It actually cuts away the excess. As you can see, it tells you there it's going to be cropped, because you can see, although the image is there, right, and it's got this bit, it knows to truncate the rest and just keep this right hand side to this dimension. And this is just a preview of where the text is going to be, so you don't have to worry about that. You can go ahead and just make the actual image this size, and it will just know to fit it in there. So same with this one, where that red area is, you don't have to worry about. Okay, so it's like this one. That's a large one, so it's this one. And you see it's going to move that to that point. Right, and the Facebook media one is a new thing. Just make it that size. I usually take a nice screenshot render and do some post-process on it in Photoshop and just make it look pretty. No text, is allowed, no logos, just has to be nice and clean cut, and leave a bit of space at the bottom corners because they might want to put their own things there. No watermarks or anything, no text information, just a nice image that reads well in case they want to promote you on Facebook. So that's kind of its own thing. I think I've got maybe one screenshots. Sometimes I keep a folder called store images. I've got all sorts of different versions kicking about for stuff these days. Store, there we go. There we go, there's the Facebook one. You'll see it's just very clean cut and to the point. So that's pretty much that. So you don't have to click a save button here, it's just automatic. So you go back, preview an asset store, and you'll see everything here. That's how you only see it this way, you won't see it in the smaller view. Okay, now you want to go back into your folder and log in. Oh, you also want the asset store tools, so make sure you get that, asset store tools. That's this one. Import. Okay, that's fine. Excuse me. Okay, so you can see that's in the same level as this folder. It's not going to get exported with anything with this, because anything here is just going to go up to its parent chain and then be exported in that file structure. So basically, this is what I want to export. Anything related to any of the meshes, like the textures, all have to live in here. They can't live in another like folder here. You can't really share them, because then you end up, when someone downloads this, they'll get this folder with just the textures folder in it, and it might only be one texture that you've kind of reused in a way. So if you're going to reuse textures, it's better to make a copy of it and then let the copy live in there. And then, okay, if you were to sell the whole pack as one go, what I'd probably suggest doing is move the whole pack to another project or something, or just make sure that you've got all your references to the textures, just to like maybe there's a common folder, right? That's an idea. So sci-fi weapons, you could have like a folder called common assets, right? And then in here you could have materials, so maybe like skies and stuff. It's an idea. Textures, that could be like noise textures, grunge patterns and things. What else? Common assets could also be not meshes, not materials, not prefabs. What's the other one? Shaders. Common shaders. Right, so that way when someone exports this pack, in theory they'll get RR Freelance as the top level. They'll get any shared common assets that you've used alongside any of the meshes. It'll just take what it needs as well, so that would be nice. It wouldn't give you all of them, and that way you've got something that works with everything. So that's probably the way to do that. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's the way to do it. Right, so now that we've got the asset store tools here, you have to log in. So you do package upload and then it'll ask it to log in. So I'll just log in. Okay. Oh. Get caps lock on or something. Oh, I put in the wrong password. Okay. All right. So here's a list of everything that I've submitted. Whole list of stuff, right? Even stuff that's got rejected, or it's still in draft, or it's disabled, like, you know, there's some old stuff kicking around. It just shows you everything, right? So I'm going to go to the sci-fi handguns pack and select folder. It's going to be in here, sci-fi weapons and pistols, right? Handguns, hand pistols, whatever. Right, so it knows the structure. Select any sort of main files in here. So I would basically click on some prefabs, a couple of them, some textures, and that should be enough. Okay, and then upload when it's done. And that's pretty much it. So once you've done that, you go back to here. When you refresh, once it's uploaded, so it'll take a while to upload, and then it'll get you'll get a dialog saying submitted to the publisher portal, I guess. You want to go here and then refresh, and what you'll see is a package that you can edit. No package uploaded, so it will upload. You can edit it and make sure all the. I usually just check no for everything unless it's got some kind of dependency on a certain version of Unity or any sub asset packs. Then you would just preview an asset store, make sure your metadata is all right, key images are all good. If you've got any audio and video, you can link a YouTube link here. So you'd do a YouTube, go to YouTube, find a link, pop it in there, and that will appear. If you get a Sketchfab 3D model, you can link it there. And yeah, screenshots, they can be any size, so just pop loads in there. Maybe recommend like 1280 by 720, something like that. That's good, but they tend to work the way. I think it just crops them in the center. Okay, then you would submit to the asset store. Once you've done it, you check a couple of boxes down here, submit to the asset store, and you give a little information to the person who's going to review it. So you might say like initial draft, whatever, and then if you've done an update, you might say, oh, made a new shader, added a new weapon, and so on, just to give the Unity guys a kind of idea of what you've done, and that way they know where to look. It makes their job quicker, and it means they can approve your asset much quicker. You have to be really honest and concise about stuff, and your layout is really important. So that's how I would get hand pistols up as a pack. If I wanted to do sci-fi weapons, this structure would also be the same for each weapon I've created, and blasters and so on. Then I could sell sci-fi weapons as a pack, and so on. And then that keeps everything in this structure, in this project, so I can manage this whole asset pack from here and all the little sub packs. Yeah, I hope that's useful for you, and I look forward to seeing any questions under the video. Comment if you've got any questions, I'll try and answer it. If you're looking to make up your own asset page, just talk to me, I'll get you some advice. I've got a Discord channel, which I will put in the link, and it's for anybody interested in making assets, or if you've bought an asset of mine, if you want to ask any questions, it means I can give you a quick response. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.